Hey guys, what's up? It's Erica. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already checked out my videos, I am posting every single day of this month, so make sure to subscribe so you can come back and see what I post this month. I'm doing a little experiment to see how my channel does if I post every single day of the month. If you want to see how that works out for me, make sure to subscribe and I'll post a video at the end of the month explaining what happens to my channel. As a lot of you guys know, if you watch a lot of my videos, I live in San Francisco. I've lived here for almost a year now, which is crazy because this year has been not what I expected. I wrote down the best and worst parts about living in San Francisco. Basically, the second I moved here, the city shut down and I haven't unfortunately been able to live here when San Francisco's in like its prime, but I feel like I've gotten a pretty good feel for the city. I came up with the pros and cons of living here. Overall, I have really enjoyed my experience here. It's a really fun city. I will alternate pros and cons. I have 8 pros and 7 cons. I was trying to do 10 and 10, but then I was like, I don't need to force myself to come up with like 10 reasons, because then I'm just gonna like force things to tell you guys versus just being honest about what I actually think. So the first thing that I wrote down as a pro is the food. I wish I had more in-person dining experience here because so many restaurants look so cute, so Instagrammable, artsy. I love the experience of going and dining at a restaurant, but nonetheless, I've gotten a lot of Uber Eats, RIP to my bank account, and the food is chef's kiss. Delicious. Then the first con that I wrote down, probably everyone thinks about this when they think about San Francisco, but it is traffic and driving here. Thankfully, because of COVID, traffic has not been horrible, but it's still not great. There's just a lot of people on the road and a lot of bad drivers, and maybe sometimes me included. And also just driving here, even if there's no one on the road, it's a pain. I can't even explain. You will like be driving up a hill and you cannot see over you. Like there's just no possible way to see ahead, which is really scary. And I think people realize, like I hope people realize that if you're walking, that like the driver literally cannot see you for like 0.2 seconds. It's not the best, but also I grew up around this area, so many people are terrified of driving up here and like never do it. And really it's not that bad. If you know where you're going, it's not bad. The second thing I put are the jobs and opportunities here. There are so many startup companies here and tech jobs, and not even just tech. I feel like when people think about Silicon Valley and San Francisco, they think about tech, but there's so many job opportunities here and just like a lot of creative driven people here. It's also like really inspiring to see other people work really hard and create really successful companies, and there's a lot of that here. So if you're inspired by stuff like that, it's a great place to be. The second con that I have is that it's expensive. This is all kind of relative because I grew up like 40 minutes south of San Francisco and the prices are somewhat similar. I enjoy going to the little markets and stuff in my neighborhood and like going to the little mom and pop stores to get like a few groceries to cook something, but the prices are like actually crazy there. They are double what you would pay at your grocery store. And just in general, like when I go to the grocery store, sometimes I'll go to the grocery store in Palo Alto after work. I'll go to the Trader Joe's there and it's cheaper there than when I go to the Trader Joe's in San Francisco. My next pro is that it's a small city compared to so many cities that are very large in square feet, square meters, I don't know the correct term. If you've been to LA or Seattle, those are really big cities. You definitely like need a car to drive around to different neighborhoods. In San Francisco, it's a really small amount of actual land and everything is 10 minutes from each other. My third con is that it is dirty. If you come to San Francisco, you will see it is really, really dirty. I have been to a lot of big cities in Europe. I've been to LA, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Seattle, and honestly San Francisco is the dirtiest city that I visited. A lot of people say it has to do with like the drug laws here. We do really have like a really bad homeless problem here, and especially with COVID it has gotten worse. I don't know if other cities are better at cleaning the streets or just like cleaning the sidewalks. Also with COVID, I feel like we've all become even more aware of how dirty things are and like grossed out by things, so that might have added to it of just like feeling really dirty when I'm walking in the city, and now I'm like, I don't want to wear my shoes in the house, like this is disgusting. The fourth pro that I have is that there are a lot of different neighborhoods here And even though the city is small, there are so many neighborhoods. I looked it up this morning on Google and there are, I think, over 100 neighborhoods. They each have a different vibe and a different feeling. I currently live in Pack Heights. Some areas that I know are super popular are North Beach, the Mission, Hayden-Ashbury. There's a lot of really cool neighborhoods to check out. My boyfriend and I are planning on making a list of all of the neighborhoods, and we're gonna try and go and visit each one and go to a restaurant in each one and write down what like our favorite thing about the neighborhood is and our least favorite thing about the neighborhood is. I think that'll be a fun activity that will take a while, but it'll be fun to do. The fourth con that I put are the hills, which they are great for views and I guess like adding some interesting topography, but beyond that, for the driving and the walking, they are horrible. Like I said, it is a really small city, and like distance wise, you can look like you're walking a mile and then it ends up taking you like 30 minutes because you will be going directly uphill. It's not so bad when you're going downhill, then they're nice. My next pro are the views. San Francisco is known for being super hilly, which definitely has like its downsides to being so hilly, but they're amazing views. I live really close to two parks that are like at the top of hills, and you can like pretty much look out all ways and have a really awesome view. You can kind of look back and see the entire city. You can look forward, see the bay and like the Golden Gate Bridge. It is beautiful. Number 5 is that rent prices and the cost of housing is really expensive. Because of COVID, rent prices have dropped a lot here, but houses are still a lot and rent is still a lot. Most like 2 bedrooms are going for over $3,000. When my friend and I were looking for a place, a lot of 2 bedrooms were going for over $4,000 a month, which is a ton of money. I read that like the median house price is like $1.6 million, which I do not have $1.6 million laying around. I love Zillow. I'm on it all the time, and honestly, there are very few houses that are affordable, and when they are, they're bought so quickly. The 6th pro that I have is the architecture here. If you like the quintessential Victorian homes in San Francisco, there are so many amazing neighborhoods to walk around and see old architecture. And also there's a lot of new architecture here with tech booming here. There's a lot of really modern glass buildings being built here, so I love walking around and looking at all the different buildings. My 6th con is that there are really high rates of property crime here. I unfortunately know it well because earlier this week my car got broken into in my garage and they smashed my sunroof. I'll insert a picture right here. Yeah, lots of fun. I walk around and see so many cars that just have signs that say, I've been broken into 3 times, I have nothing valuable in here, please do not break my car window. And I see lots of people driving around with their windows smashed and that just clearly don't plan on getting them fixed, probably because they've been broken so many times. I kind of knew like moving to San Francisco it was just gonna happen, but I was like really thinking that because I had a garage that I would be okay, but know what happened to me too. The 7th pro that I have is that there are a lot of cool places to explore outside of San Francisco. You're really close to Half Moon Bay, which is a really pretty beach, also not too far from Santa Cruz. You can go to Marin, which is one of my favorite places. It's super foresty and lots of hills and very naturey. There are beaches over there too, and it's literally right across the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a great place to explore. You can also head over to Oakland and Berkeley, which are cities as well, but they just like have a different feel, and it's a quick like 30-minute drive over there. And also if you want to check out like Palo Alto and Silicon Valley area, you're super close to that as well. If you do want to get out of the city, there are tons of places to go and explore and hang out. And my 7th and final con is that it is foggy and gloomy here. Honestly, I think I've been pretty lucky with the weather so far. We haven't had horrible weather, but it does get really foggy, and I live kind of in the middle of the city, but I did read that the more west you live, the foggier it is, and like you can possibly not see the sunlight. So you might want to do some research if you are moving here. There are definitely parts of the city that get less foggy and get more sun. So if that's something that is important to you, I would look into that. It's something that's important to me. I need to feel the sun every single day. My 8th pro is that there are tons of parks in this city, and everyone like loves to go and hang out at the parks in San Francisco. A lot of them are kind of on like hilltops. You can look out at the views. They're pretty much always packed. Lots of people hang out there, lots of things to do, lots of people to meet. And so when COVID's over, I'm really excited to go experience all that. So that pretty much sums up all of my points of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to message me on Instagram if you are thinking about moving here or have more questions about the city. I will respond to you. I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.